Okay, my name is Naren Reddy. I'm working under Ravi Kumar School. I'm the PhD scholar. Today, the lab session is the demo of a lab which we are having at NIT Warangal. Here, I will explain what are the facilities we are having at NIT Warangal, and we'll demonstrate one polymer machine, that is Ultimaker 2 plus, and other one is a metal machine, which is a DMP direct metal printing 100 flex, and we will explain you the what are the post processing units which are available at NIT Warangal. Now, the first we'll see the at a glance what facilities we are having at NIT Warangal. We are going. This is the additive manufacturing laboratory, which is having at NIT Warangal. So this is inside the lab. This is the plastic lab. That is we are calling it as the RP lab. See here we are having different softwares. Here we'll show you the list of softwares which are available at NIT Warangal, and there are four working stations. This is the dual monitor working station we are having at NIT Warangal, and one more is that the Stratasys Mojo 3D printer we are having here at NIT Warangal and post processing unit. This is a Dimension SST 768. It is also a 3D printer we are having, and this is the Ultimaker 2 Plus 3D printer we are having at NIT Warangal. And see, this is the flashport finder, and this is the micro finder, and this is one more workstation we're having. This is a object scanner we're having at NIT Warangal. We're having two different kinds of scanners, and this is a ProCircuit which is expressly used by MTech additive manufacturing student. They are working, and we're move on to the metal 3D printer lab which are having at NIT Warangal. So this is inside. This is the metal 3D printer DMP 100 Flex, which is having at NIT Warangal. So here, which is capable to produce the metal parts, and this is the workstation extremely used for this mission. It's high-end workstation. It's a 32 GB RAM we are using here, and this is the post-processing unit which is having at NIT Warangal. See here, these are the various post-processing units which are used after the printing of a part bands and muffle furnace, as well as a powder receiver, short pinning machine, and this is we can see here this is the different types of this is the different types of cylinders. So black color, blue, and some brown color, some, and air compressor dryer, something we are having here. This is the oven especially used for preheating of a powder we are having at NIT Warangal. Now we are move on to the uh, uh, now we are move on to the specifications of each and every plastic machine which is having at NIT Warangal. This is a Mozo 3D printer. We are having at NIT Warangal. It is a Stratasys made 3D printer. The Mozo 3D system builds the model from the CAD STL file that's sent to the system by using USB cable from dedicated host computer. See here, this is the printer. We can clearly see that when you are observing that there are two print heads we are having. It is one print head, and this is the one other print head. In the print head is having two print heads. This is one print head, this is the other print head. See here, these the print heads can build the parts simultaneously. One print head is for support material, and other print head is for a main part material. Here the support material and part material both are different. The support material we are using for this printer is SR30. That is the SR30 material, that is a soluble, water soluble material we are using, and main part material is ABS plastic material we are using here, and we will insert this material into this mission. See, we can see here this is the cartridge. This side is the left side and right side. We are having the cartridge. Left side and right side we can see the cartridges, and we will load the material in the form of a spool, and we will load into the cartridge. Now see, this is the inside chamber of a Mozo 3D printer machine. See, we can see this is the 3D printer machine. The build volume for this machine is the build volume for this machine, I can tell you that the build volume we can print here is 127 by 127 by 127 and the layer thickness we can build by using this machine is the layer thickness we can use the mission is about 0.17 mm. See, these are the various parts which were produced by using uh, the Mozo Stratasys 3D printer. This is the, we can see here, this is the mandible, this is some parts which, see now, this is the chemical treatment. This is we are using for chemical treatment. Now this is the chemical treatment equipment we are using at NIT Warangal. This is used to remove the support material. Here the support material we are using, the Mozo, the Stratasys 3D printer, is water soluble. Now what we'll do here, we'll take a part. See here, we'll take a part on whatever the part which you are printed with help of support structure, and we'll place into the chemical treatment chamber, and we'll close, and we'll pour some water and wait for some time. That is a specified time for the removal SR material. They will mention in that soluble time of our material. And after I will close that, after that the closing, and we'll wait for until material is soluble, and we'll remove that. And we'll wait for until the removing of a material, and we'll take out that parts. Now see, this is the various parts which were produced by using this 3D printer. So this is the mandible part, this is the all our medical parts which are produced by using this Stratasys Mozo 3D printer having at NIT Warangal. The parts which are produced here is stronger when compared to the Ultimaker, or when compared with what is the FlashForge Finder we are having at NIT Warangal. So these are the various parts which were produced by using this 3D printer. Next, here is that slicing software you are using. Here is slicing software we are using, the Print Wizard 1.2 version we are using at NIT Warangal. That software was provided by the vendor only. It is not a freely available software. Now we are moving on to the next facility we are having at NIT Warangal, that is Dimension SST 768 FDM rapid prototyping mission. The maker is also the Stratasys USA. The build, now see here, now these are the various parts which were produced: inlet manifold and turbine blade. See, this is the inlet manifold, this is the turbine blade which were produced for the MTech students under Ravi Kumar sir, and they are working on this. They worked on this project, and they successfully demonstrated all those things by using this mission. And now see here, this is the, now we are moving on to, we can see this is the specifications. Already I explained you the specifications of this mission. So here the material we are using here is also ABS plastic material. The form of a material is a filament on a spool, and the support removal. And also here the support material is also different. The support material and part material both are different. We will feed these two material in the form of a spool. And also the layer thickness for this machine we are using, there are two layer thickness we can change. That is, one is 0.254 mm, other one is 0.33 mm. These things we can adjust in the software. And the energy source is here is a heated extrusion tip. That means this is the FDM based mission we are having at NIT Warangal. Now see here, this is now where we can see the build volume. Now we are opening the window, and we can see the build volume. This is a very large build volume. See, this is a very large build volume. I can say the build volume is about 254 by 254 by 305 mm. So therefore we can produce the large parts. So our students were produced inlet manifold as well as a turbine wind blade by using this mission. They successfully simulated and fabricated by using this mission. Now I can show you the various parts. Already I shown you here. Now only the drawback with this FDM mission, only the drawback with FDM, the Stratasys Dimension and Mozo 3D printer here is that the spool material, which is a very cost, I can say you the cost of a FDM, the Stratasys Dimension SST is around 10,000, and whereas Mozo 3D printer is also around 10 to 15,000. Because of that high amount of a cost, nowadays the people are not using, they are going for the Ultimaker and Mozo, so Ultimaker and FlashForge Finder. Because why? Because the spool cost is a very less for that material. Now this is the Ultimaker, which Ultimaker mission which is having at NIT Warangal, and I'm going to demonstrate for this mission is also after 5 minutes I will demonstrate here. Now let me tell me the specifications for this mission we are using at NIT Warangal. The technology here we are using is fused filament technology, and print head is a single extrusion print head with swappable nozzle. The swappable nozzle means here we are changing the nozzle. We are having the different types of nozzle. Let us say there are four kinds of nozzles available in our machine. That is 0.25 mm nozzle, 0.4 mm nozzle, 0.6 mm nozzle, and 0.8 mm nozzle. These are the four different types of nozzles we are using at NIT Warangal. Already we know that what happened when you change the nozzle size. When you change the nozzle size, the deposition of a material from the print head is increases, and the lesser time, the time taken to fabricate a component is decreasing, the production rate is increasing. That's why we are using the swappable nozzle technology here. The material we are using, the lot of material, the previously I discussed ABS plastic material, the recommended by the seller. Now here in this material, the maker has been given the lot of material. Let me say the material using for this machine is PLA, ABS, nylon, CPE, CPE plus, PCPP, and TPU 95A. These are the different material, and we are using here the now see, this is our machine which we are having here. One more advantage with this machine is the preheating. We can do the preheating, and this is the filament we are using at this is the filament. The diameter of the filament we are using here is 2.85 mm. The filament for this machine we can directly get from the Ultimaker or third party vendors also. They are supplying. Let me say the Think 3D. The Think 3D is the one of the largest supplier of a filament in Andhra Pradesh as well as Telangana. It's headquartered at Vizag. They are supplying this filament for us, the filament for the Ultimaker material. It's a very less cost. Let me say the cost about for this machine is 1500 rupees only. They are, and is also compatible with this machine, and we are producing excellent parts with this. This is the momentum. I will explain you later in the working principle of Ultimaker machine. And see here, only advantage with this, to run this machine we don't require any host computer. Previously for running the Mozo 3D printer as well as the Stratasys Dimension SST, we need to connect the host computer or dedicated computer. Here we not required any computer, separate computer, just SD card is required. These are some finishing tools we are using for removing the support material for printed. These are some parts which were produced, robotic arm as well as a skull, and some plumber blocks, some parts which are produced. Next we are move on to the FlashForge Finder. FlashForge Finder 3D printer we are having at NIT Warangal. Now let me say so this is a spool which are using for this mission. Now this is the FlashForge Finder where we can see the display, where in the display, it's a display we can control each and everything in the display. Loading of a material, changing of a material, everything is be controlled with the help of a display. It's easy to operate. Now the people are using FlashForge Finder and Ultimaker because it's a very open environment and easy to operate very easily. Here this is also fused filament fabrication technology. The FlashForge Finder, the flash print slicing software we are using to slice a part. The files can be transferred through by using USB cable or USB stick or FlashForge Cloud or Polar Cloud. And here is the filament we are using. See, this is the filament we are using is a 1.75 mm diameter of the filament. See, this is the part. The build volume for this material for this printer is 140 mm by 140 mm by 140 mm. Now the material generally adopted for this machine is ABS plastic and PLA. These are the two materials which are using at NIT Warangal, and the layer thickness is also changing from 0.05 to 0.4 mm. These things we can select in our software. The build accuracy is a plus or minus 0.2 mm. Now see, this is the extruded nozzle, a print head, and where we can insert the filament. Now these are some complex parts which were produced, Taj Mahal, which were produced in our mission. Now this is the spool we are holding separately at the spool holding devices. Now this is the filament. This is the filament which you are using, that is 1.75. These filaments are easily available. Now we are moving on to the ion scanner. We are having 3D scan. This is the ion scanner. Already it was explained by the Rakesh in the previous lecture. Here this is our reverse engineering purpose we are using at NIT Warangal to get the dimensions of an object. Now we are having sense scanner. This is the body scanner we are using at NIT Warangal. This is also explained by the Rakesh previously. By using for using reverse engineering purpose, we are using this machine. This is the workstation which is having at NIT Warangal. Next, we are move on to the Prusa i3 3D printer kit. See, so this is the DIY printer we are using especially for MTech additive manufacturing students at NIT Warangal. Here, the students see the students are able to, let me show. This is the DIY printer. This is the printer which is this is the NIT Warangal MTech students are using this printer. They are making where we bought only the parts for this machine, and our students what they are doing, they are learning the subject and they are knowing the how to assemble, and they are knowing the what are the subjects behind to installation of this mission, and they are knowing the Arduino software to run a mission. Our students to run this 3D printer RepRap movement, the Arduino software is required. Therefore our MTech students are I'm learning the software, and also they made, this is the assembled our MTech student made at our lab itself. We are having, there are two different kinds of machines which are having at NIT DIY printer. This is one more printer we are using right now. We are both are working only, but we are using the one 3D printer. The students are able to work on that machines. Next, I will explain you what are the softwares which are available at NIT Warangal. These are the different 7 softwares which were licensed in our lab. One is the Materialize Mimics 18.1. This is software is especially used to model the medical model. The medical model here, we don't have any dimensions of inner dimension like heart, lung, or bone or any other thing. We don't have any direct dimensions. It is a vary from person to person. To get or to model such a parts, we are taking the CT or MRI data. CT data is generally used for hard tissue, that is a bone, whereas MRI is used for soft tissue, lungs and heart. Those things we are using, and from the data where we are importing into the Mimic software, there we can do the various segmentation tools. Various segmentation tools will perform and will separate the which part we want to print by using the 3D printer. So Materialize Mimax generally used for medical model design. We are using at NIT Warangal. And next software is a Materialize Thematic 9.0. This is also a Materialize people are provided. This thematic software is used to design a template. That is, let me say the template means, suppose that if I want to design a skull, some part of a skull has been damaged during an accident, that part I want to produce by separating. So the separating of a damaged part from the CAD model, so that is very important. By using the Materialize Thematic 9.0 software, we will separate and we will design the damaged part, and we will import to we will import that files to the printing machine, and where you can easily produce that. Next is the Catalyst, the Stratasys Catalyst EX software, which are using at NIT Warangal. This is mainly used for slicing, like Cura, how we are using the Stratasys Catalyst EX, we are using for slicing of a dimension SST, where we can generate the G codes, everything by using this Stratasys Catalyst EX software. The next software we are using at NIT Warangal, that is the Stratasys Print Wizard 1.2. This is the one more software we are using at NIT Warangal. The next software is a 3D system, 3D Expert Ultimate 14.4. This is the licensed version also we are having. Yesterday, the Mr. Lokesh was explaining each and every facility of this mission. This is used for support orientation and the simulation, as well as the slicing for metal mission we are using at NIT Warangal. The next is we are using the Flash Print for Flash Print. This is used for slicing of a Flash Forge Finder mission. The next is the Ultimaker Cura 14.5. This is a software we are using it. This is also sliced. These are the various parts which were produced our MTech students as well as BTech students under Ravi Kumar sir. So this is the inlet manifold for diesel engine system. We are using the turbine blade. This is a universal. These are some engineering parts, as well as we produced some medical parts. See, this is some medical parts which were produced by using our 3D. This is the parts which are produced by using the Stratasys Mozo 3D printer. Our students has been produced these parts. This is the during the COVID situation, we were printed a face shield by using the Ultimaker printer. This is a heart, which is a reverse 3D printed, that is sense scanner, object scanner we printed. This is SLS parts which were produced. This is Ultimaker parts which are produced, some complex parts which have been produced. This is the robotic arm. This is some animal which were produced in our Ultimaker mission by getting the STL from the directly. This is the block which have been produced. This is SLS part, how such a complex part we are produced by using the SLS mission. See how this is the some block, some arrangement which have been produced by using some. This is the, so now we are moving on to some parts which are engineering parts which have been produced by using this mission. This is a universal coupling were produced. This is the turbine blade. This is the robotic arm of our MTech students has been made. This is a Ganesh idol which were produced by using the Mojo Stratasys Mojo 3D printer. Now we are moving on to the Ultimaker demo, the working principle and how to load and how to print everything I will explain here. This is the printer. This is the print head, extruded nozzle print head. This is the sharper one. Now this is the vertical screw used to momentum of a vertical z-axis movement. Now we can see this is a top view. This is the momentum. Nozzle can move in x and y direction. See here, very just I am showing that the momentum only, but it is not fully controlled movement, not known it. So this is a build plate we are using. The build plate is 200 by 200 by 200. This is the cooling coils, heating and cooling coils we are using. Now see here, we are going to see here. Now this is the build plate. It is the build plate advantage here is it is a vertical movement. The screw is used to support the vertical momentum of a build plate once the start mission. Now we are going to start the mission. Now I switch on the mission. When I am switch on the mission, there are three things. This is SD card slot. This is the screen. This is the push and rotate button. The push and rotate is used to operate each and every one, where we can select the material, where different options, the maintenance and material print, everything is there. See, when I am starting the material, so when you start the mission, we are already we want to generate the G code file. The part which we are having, we want to print, already we have been generated by using the Cura software, and we have been generated the part in the Cura. That part we are using directly into the SD card. Now before starting the mission, I want to load the material. For that reason, see in the display there is an option. We want to select the material, that we want to load the material. Now I am going to load the material by using the push and rotate button. I am selecting the material option is there. When I am starting the material, the nozzle will be moving, but still I am not inserting the material. I am going to insert the material. Now we are using the Ultimaker supplied material. See here, the reversing the material. That means already some material is there in the mission. That material we are removing, that we are inserting the new material. For that, reversing the material, that material we have been reversed. And this is a spool holder. This is the feeder. This is the spool holder. Now in Ultimaker, we are using this Ultimaker material, where for this Ultimaker material, this is a PLA material we are using at NIT Warangal. So here this is a 2.85 mm diameter. Now I am holding there is a back side black color holder, spool holder is there. I am holding this material at spool holder in counterclockwise direction, not clockwise, counterclockwise direction. Now why I'm cutting the material here is some sharp, I want to feed the material into the feeder to get a sharpness. That's why a little part of a metal was cut by using the cutter. Now I am selecting the material by using the push and rotate button. See here, where we can select the which type of material. I'm selecting the ABS material from the material option. I'm selecting the PLA material by using the push and rotate button. There is a push and rotate button. After selecting that, click onto the push and rotating button. Now it will shows that heating where the heating up the nozzle for preparing for inserting the material. So just wait until the nozzle is getting heated, then only the material we can easily insert it. This is a feeder we are using here. In that feeder we are inserting the material, not the pushing hardly, just gently insert the material, just little bit only. The feeder automatically will take the material. No need to continuously insert the material. Just wait. Once the nozzle is getting heated, the material will be automatically feeded from feeder to Bowden. White color is called Bowden pipe. This is the Bowden pipe from here. Now in the display it will shows that wait, the heat is inserting the new material from the backside, just inserting the new material from the backside of your machine. Above arrow, just S, select that material. We are selecting forwarding the material. Now we can see the material which is coming out from the nozzle very clearly. Just forwarding the material from the feeder, to Bowden pipe to a print head, that is nozzle. The way till material is coming out from the nozzle. Now we can see very clearly. Just wait a minute. We can see very clearly the metal which is coming out from the nozzle. See here, this is the metal which was extruded from the nozzle. So we have successfully loaded the material from backside to the nozzle. Now what we do, that next we want to load the part. So in the SD card, see, next we want to load the material. Now we are going to print that. We are having the SD card. In that SD card, we have already saved the file, and we have already sliced it by using the Cura software generated G codes. That file was copied to the SD card, and that directly we are giving to SD card. No need to any separate system does not require to run this mission. Just SD card is enough, or USB cable is enough. SD card is very easy. Now, so from the SD card, there are very print. I want to go for print. After selecting the print, there are we have given a lot of print material, print files are there. Now the part which I want to give the print, that file I am selecting here. Now wait, preparing for to print your part, and it's a tuning for printing. Once starts printing, the build plate is going to upward direction. Once the layer is printing, the build plate is coming down by the layer thickness. Here, this is the part which is the metal, just a little bit of metal which is comes out from the nozzle at the end of the build plate, just for checking the tuning. And now it starts slicing for printing of our material. Now I have given the printing of a some skull part, the scaled skull part model. I have given the printing. Now it starts printing. There's the first layer. This is the slicing of a first layer. The wrap, generally I have given for this part I have given the wrap. You know what is the meaning of a wrap, everything here. Now in the display it will shows that time left for printing of our part. It shows the 3 hour. For my part is 3 hour. For any part, if it is complex part, it may take one day, or it may sometimes it take 2 days. It will take like that, depending upon the part which I have been. This is the part which I have been produced by using this machine. I have given the less support. See, this is a very less support structure. Less support structure have been printed with help of support structure. This part I have been printed by using the support structure material have been removed by using. Now this is about a polymer printing machine we are having at NIT Warangal. Now next I will hand over to the Banerjee. Will explain you that ultimate DMP 100plex machine is having at NIT Warangal. After that I will explain you post processing. Banerjee, hello Banerjee. Just hello. Start. You start. Banerjee.
Okay.
I will make you the presenter.
Okay.
Just start. So now Banerjee will explain the working principle of a machine. I'm hand over to the Banerjee. Later I will start, and finally we'll discuss the questions later after completion of the session. Start, Banerjee.
Arun Reddy garu, no audio.
Basically, the laser additive manufacturing mainly classified into 2 types. One is powder bed fusion, second one is direct energy deposition. The direct energy deposition classified in two types based on the raw material we use. Here wire additive manufacturing and laser melting deposition. Now here the DMP Plex 100 which we have installed in NIT Warangal in rapid prototyping lab under supervision of by Ravi Kumar sir, it works under category of powder bed fusion. And the main technical characteristics of DMP Plex 100, here we use fiber laser and the power is, the maximum power is 100 watt and scanning speed range is 1 meter per second to 7 meter per second. We can vary the scanning speed as per your final required properties of component. And second one, layer thickness, it can be adjustable in the range of 30 to 100 micrometer. You can reduce the layer thickness as per your requirement. If you want to high surface finish, we choose low layer thickness. If you want to rough surface finish, we can increase the layer thickness. The materials we can use in DMP Plex 100, stainless steel, tool steel, non-ferrous alloys and super alloys. And present we are using in NIT Warangal precipitate hardened steel and cobalt chromium, aluminum silicon 7 mg and titanium 6Al and 4B. These are the materials we are present using in NIT Warangal. And the build volume inside the process chamber 100 into 100 into 80 mm means it is the build volume we can build in x direction 100 mm, in y direction in 100 mm, and height we can build up to 80 mm. Here the loading system is semi-automatic. Here we need to load the powder, unload the powder. It is not automatic. We need to do manually some operations. And here the CAD/CAM software we use for DMP Plex 100 3D Expert. Yesterday, Lokesh sir explained how can we design the part, how can we orient the part, and also how can we give supports with minimum cost. And also this 3D Expert can read STL, IGS and step files. And I'm going to give main components of the DMP Plex 100. Here, see, this is the control panel. It acts as a interface between operator and machine. Here we can give what are the input commands we can give to the machine. This is the laser assembly. Inside we can see the lenses and also some electrical components. Here see, there are two gloves. One is right glove and left hand glove box. Through this, as putting hand through these gloves, we can load the powder, unload the powder, and also we can clean the unscented powder, and also we can fix the substrate plate where the laser centers the deposit powder, and also it is air box where we can keep accessories which are required for process chamber. These are the specifications of DMP Plex 100 as I explained in earlier slide. These are the walls. This is the gas wall. This is the air wall. As before start the mission, we need to turn the gas and air wall to create an inert atmosphere inside the chamber. And this is the process filter. You can see the backside of the DMP Plex 100, backside of the system. It can extract the fumes and particles generated inside the process chamber during the process. This is a process filter. This is the input to the system. here we can see main supplies of gas and air. Before start the process, we need to turn the gas and air. We need to ensure that it always on before start the process to create inert atmosphere inside the process chamber. This is the internet connection, and this is the main switch. Before this is the main switch for control panel. This is the process filter. Yeah, it is one air process filter to remove impurities in the air. And these are the controllers. We can see here we can see the pressure inside the chamber as well. These are the main controls. All electrical components are involved in this. And we look at inside the process chamber. Here see the inside the process chamber. This is supply piston. We supply the powder through supply piston. This is the platform between centering piston and supply piston. This is a centering piston where the laser centers the powder. This is the scraper and roller. This is the collecting tank where the uncentered powder will be collected by overflow clamps. Next, I will show how this process will work. Inside, you can observe this is the air lock. Now it is process chamber side, and as clicking on air lock button, we can access the air lock. You can observe this is the fiber brush for clean the total process chamber, and also Allen wrench to fix the substrate on the centering piston. Now this is the air lock. As I explained, now it is in the upper process chamber side. As clicking on air lock, we can access the air lock. We can keep accessories like fiber brush and Allen wrench, and also a tamping plate to compact the powder for every 30 mm powder inside the supply piston. As turning the key with the help of Allen wrench, we can access the lenses, laser lenses. Before start the process, we need to clean lenses thoroughly, okay, with the help of aerosol. And we need to swipe with the help of optical towel before start each and every process. Now basically how we can proceed. First we create the CAD part, and then we import into 3D Expert, and also we orient the part as per requirement, and after that we give supports and we convert into Fab3 file. It only supports Fab3 files. Okay, remember this machine only supports Fab3 file. Then we can pull the part, and this is the final part. If you want to relieve any stresses in the component, we need to do post processing. These are the main steps are involved in DMP Flex 100. First, we build plate loading. We need to load the plate before start the process. This we can say sometimes subtract. And build plate reference searching. Where build plate reference searching means where the build gets start. Okay. Means we need to keep up to the boundary level. Means the where the build gets start. And material loading and tamping. We need to load the material into the supply piston. And also tamping to compact the powder for every 30 mm height. And powder bed layering. We deposit first layer in such a way that without cracks and voids on the first layer. Okay, remember, before starting process, we need to create first layer without any voids and cracks. And later we have to do lens window cleaning. Later we go to process chamber enerting to create enough atmosphere inside this chamber to avoid oxidation. Finally, we build the process. Here, bull plate preparation and loading. Here we need to clean bull plate thoroughly with degreaser, towel with degreaser. We need to clean in such a way that it should be in the direction of bruise presence on the substrate to avoid residuals of the towels. And later we fix the substrate in the process chamber through glove box in such a way that these grooves on the substrate parallel to the roller. Now I give some input commands. How do we give input commands? Here you can see this is the preparation menu. In preparation menu, there are three submenus. This is the preparation menu. There are three submenus. One is motion submenu. This is the what are the motions we can be controlled by these options. And this is the atmosphere submenu. This one preparation description cycle. Okay, let me explain how can we control motions inside the process chamber. Here carriage, as keeping with these two options, we can move the carriage forward and backward, and with roller we can move the forward and reverse direction, and scraper we can move up and down, and supply basin we can move up and down. In supply basin we move up to create deposit layer, and in centering basin move down to create to deposit first layer. In centering basin and as well we can move and up, and these are the controllers. Here the green symbol is indicates we can move and up, and if it is yellow symbol we can move in one direction, and if it is red we cannot move both directions as well. This is the airlock symbol. Okay, as I said earlier, we need to keep accessories. Okay, is like powder cans and fiber brush to clean the inside the process chamber, and also the powder cans to fill the powder into the supply piston, and some Allen wrench to fix the substrate on the centering piston. Okay. Before I explained, it is operated, it is process chamber side. As clicking on it, this green symbol is come downward. We can access the airlock system, and we can keep powder cans, wire brush, Allen wrench, what are the accessories, we can keep it there, and we can fix it through glove box. Okay. Here, as clicking on this symbol, we can open right and left door. And before start the process, we need to complete these three modes. One is plate reference mode, second one is powder bed mode, third one is inert mode. After complete this process, we can build the process. Now I am going to explain how can we give plate reference. Plate reference means where the bull gets stopped. Here you can observe the centering piston is above the boundary level. Okay. Now go to plate reference. As clicking on plate reference, this window will be displayed. Actually, generally we use 100 mm substrate plate, but here they mention standard plate is 10 mm, but we are not using 10 mm plate, we are using 100 mm. Just unclick on it. And finally, we validate the process. Now, this is the plate reference cycle we need to complete the plate reference cycle. Here, see, with these arrows, now here the axis initialization is done, scraper rising is done. Now positioning the plate. We need to keep the plate up to boundary level. With up and down arrows, we can keep the plate at boundary level. Now he down by is downing now. See, the plate is down and validate. Now he is going to search for potential shocks. The search for potential shocks means the roller moves over the substract plate. If there is any touches between roller and substract, the shock will be occurred. Shock will be occurred. We have to avoid that shock. We need to get down the plate, substract plate. Now is search of the zero position at 100 micrometer. Now the substract plate moves up by 100 micrometer. Again the carriage moves over the substract plate. If the roller touches the plate, the shock will be observed. And there is no shock. Again the carriage moves over the substract plate. This process is repeats until the roller touches the substract plate. See, it takes some iterations. The roller touches the substract. Here, see, the carriage is moving over the substract plate. This we can say centering plate. Now they find shock at 100 micrometer. Now with the help of down arrow, we down the centering piston down by 100 micrometer. Now we rise up the centering piston by 10 micrometer. Okay, as moving up by 10 micrometer, again the carriage moves over the substract plate. There is any shock, that is the final position of the substract plate. This is the total plate reference cycle. Now you see the plate is at boundary level finally, where the bull gets start. Now we are going to powder bed. We need to deposit first layer without any cracks and voids. Now you can observe in supply version the powder is below the boundary level. Okay. We have to move up supply piston some extent. Here see we can define the layer thickness. As clicking on powder bed option, we can access the layer thickness. Okay, in depositing layer you can define first deposit layer, you can define by layer thickness and also powder rising, how much it needs to rise. And now the powder rising is very below the boundary level, we need to rise up. This is the iteration, number of iterations we can do. Means iteration means the carriage moves over the process chamber, over the substrate plate to deposit first layer. Now you see the carriage is moving over the substrate plate, but there is no layer formation. We need to move up supply bastion. Yes, see, powder rising we increase. We are increasing now. Okay, validate. And also there is some powder is there, but it is not sufficient for depositing first layer. We need to move up some extent again. See, with this supply bastion, okay. So with the help of supply bastion up arrow, we can move the supply bastion to certain height to deposit first layer. Here we are checking now. Now the supply bastion is at boundary level, but for depositing here see some amount of powder. Here up to this position the scraper will burst. Later the roller will be worked to deposit layer. With the laser up position now. And also we need to fulfill the platform between supply bastion and centering bastion as well. Again we are moving up, and also we are repeating number of iterations, and the carriage is moving again. This is the number of iterations. He mentioned 3. Now the carriage is moving 3 times. Now the roller is depositing first layer on the substrate. Now we can see there is no voids and cracks on the first layer. And again he is moving the carriage to ensure first deposit layer without any cracks and voids. Finally the process is done. Now this is green symbol indicates the process is over. Now the plate reference is done. The powder bed depositing first layer is done. Now we create the inert atmosphere inside the process chamber. Here see, the now present inside the chamber 9000 ppm. This is the set point. This is the set point inside the process chamber. This value, this 9000 has to reach 1000 ppm. Now click on regulation. As clicking on regulation, we can see the gas flow rate 6.3 liter per minute. Okay. As flowing gas flow rate value in this way, it takes lot of time. Okay, we need to increase gas flow rate as clicking on inerting option. Here see 6.7 liter per minute. We need to increase the gas flow rate. It can be done by as pressing on inerting option. Here see, now easy we can observe the gas flow rate has been increased. Now it takes only 22 minutes to complete the inerting process. And also we can observe the inside pressure. Okay, it exceeds the 50 m bar. We need to close the pressure valve. The green symbol indicates the pressure valve is working. Okay, the inerting means the high gas flow rate is working now. Okay, it takes 22 minutes. Meanwhile, we can load the part into the system. We can build the layers inside the control panel. I will show it. It takes time now to reach 1000 ppm. Now here I am going to explain how to load the file into the system. Here you can see this is the option. We can click and we can access the files. In my computer there are C and D drive. If you have design part inside the disk, you can access the file, but you have design outside the control panel, then you keep it pen drive. And you can access your file. FAB3 files only. It supports only FAB3. Observe the file. As clicking on this file, you can access your files. And now your file is loading now. Here these are the files. Here you can see how many objects on the substrate plate. How many components we can build on the substrate plate. Here total 5 objects. And if you want to remove, you can remove the objects. As clicking on the object name, we can remove the object. If you want to, if Foundry is not available, then we can remove your components. Here this is the information. These are the components, and here see the compression test specimen. As clicking on this, you can, if you want to remove, you can remove. Now going to build layers. Here see, this window indicates the lack of powder to center this process. Build layers anyway. Okay. Here for printing these 8 components, we need extra powder, but we don't have that much of powder in supply position. Okay. Actually, these build layers is only for storing your components in your system. You can build layers. Okay. Okay, we click on yes. Here see, the layers are forming. Now these all are components is stored in the inside the control panel. Later you no need to put pen drive and you no need to access the files. Okay, these all components are inside the control panel. Yeah, the building layer is done. Now if you want to see at a particular layer cross section, you can check. It is like simulation. Here see, you can see the cross section of each and every component. If you want to see is there any error, and also you can see it's like simulation. You can see here as entering your layer number, we can assess the cross section of each and every part. Now here you can observe the enerting is done. Here you can see now before it is 9000, now it reaches to 2000 ppm, but it has to reach 1000 ppm. Until it reaches 1000 ppm, don't shoot laser. We need to fulfill this option with 1000 ppm to complete inert atmosphere inside the process chamber. Here, these are the options. After depositing first layer, okay, we need to shoot the laser twice, okay, to achieve strong bonding between first layer and substrate. And if your cross section is very high, then we need to shoot the layer thrice to achieve strong bond between first layer and substrate. Here see as clicking on centering, we can shoot the layer. How many times we want to shoot, we can give iterations here. If put +1 means as clicking on this, we can shoot layer first, and as clicking again, you can shoot again. Means first layer we need to shoot thrice to achieve strong bond between first layer and substrate. This is the information. You can see the pot height, the maximum pot height 57 mm, and this is the current time, and estimated time is 13 hours. To complete the whole parts, this is the estimate time, means it is update. And centering, the number of layers are 1913, but the laser centers 1913 layers. And layering, it takes 9 seconds. Here layering, it takes 4 hours 46 minutes, but centering time it takes, centering means the laser working time, okay, 9 hours 35 minutes. And this is the inside the pressure, and this is the available powder. The position of plate reference. Now the substrate plate, the centering plate is 80 at height of 83.82 mm. And also sometimes if you want to defocus the layer, and means we focus the layer below the deposit layer also we can focus, and above the deposit layer also we can focus. It is all up to you based on the properties of the component. And here we can adjust the defocus. As I said, I click on centering and click here, we can shoot the loader. Again we click add +1 and we can shoot the laser. Now we can see how the laser shoot the depositing layer. Here see how the laser works to center the powder. This is the first layer. The laser is centers the powder. See, there are different components. This is one. Different components are, and now the roller is moving over the substrate plate to deposit second layer. Again, the laser centers the layer as per required cross section. Here you can observe the unsintered powder will be collected by overflow cans. There are two cans. After unsintered powder can be reused by sleeving and followed by heating. It will be explained by Narayana. How can we sleeve? How can we heat the powder? It can be reused. Okay. Again, the carriage is moving deposit layer. This process is continue until get required component. Now you see the total component is completed. Total components are completed. This is the benchmark. Okay, to test the standards of the mission. The DMP Plex is successfully print all components without any defects. Now the centering piston is okay. We need to clean surroundings thoroughly before start second build. Here see we are cleaning through glove box. Is cleaning now. This will be collected by overflow cans, and we can access these overflow cans through air lock. Yeah, this is the final part. Remember, we have to clean each and every corner of the process chamber to start second build. Now these are the components we were printed in NIT Warangal with DMP Plex 100. This is the component. You can see the name of director NV Ramana Rao Garu. We printed, and also we can see the turbine component without any supports. Okay, as Lokesh sir told, if it is greater than 45 degree, is no problem at all. Now we position the component in such a way that it should be greater than 45 degrees. This is the framer bone. See how the complex jobs has printed without any supports. Here see benchmark. It was printed by cobalt chromium. Okay, to check the standards of the mission. Before start the any engineering part, we need to check the standards of the mission. First we print the benchmark. Here you can observe we printed component with different angles and lattice structures, and also dental implants. And here see lattice structures. This is the cranial implant. And nozzle was printed. This is the batch plate. See how we can print complex parts without any supports with minimum cost. But if you go to conventional, it takes lot of time to complete. Here the templates, dental templates you can see. Okay, this is the post processing equipment. Okay, thank you. Now Narayana is going to explain about post processing.
So good afternoon. So welcome back. You already explained a little bit about the overview of our lab, as well as I explained Ultimega 2 Plus. Next, we are moving on to the post processing unit. We will explain you the various post processing unit equipments available at NIT Warangal. The first one is the short peening machine. It is we can call it as a sand blaster, or we can call it as a bid blaster.
Narayan sir,
Hello?
no audio, sir.
Hello? Hello?
ఇప్పుడు ఓకే భయ్యా ఎంతసేపు మైక్ మ్యూట్ లో
Okay.
పెట్టావు
Okay. Hello? So here the sandblaster, now we are having the sandblaster and at NIT Varangal we are using here. This is used for to improve the surface quality of a part. We are having the part which were printed by using the machine. Now I loaded the part into the sandblaster. Now see here, this is the white color one is that abrasive particle. The white color one is the abrasive particle. Now the abrasive particle we are using here is Al2O3. Now this is the gas connection. This is the gas connection we are using here. The gas connection along with this is we are giving with the help of a compressor. The very high compressed pressure where connection we are giving. This is the nozzle head where from here will supply the very high amount of a compressed air and also along with the abrasive particle. When abrasive particle along with high compressed air is hitting the surface, it will induce the compressive forces and improve the surface finish of a component. Now we can operate this we can see this is orange color one we are having here, that is uh, hand blower. We can operate the machine with help of those things. After the offering operation, the surface finish which are produced is good when compared to the direct printed part. Now the next one is we are having at NIT Varangal, that is equipment is a muffle furnace. The muffle furnace we are using at NIT Varangal. See, this is the furnace we are having at NIT Varangal. What is the purpose of a furnace we are using? See here, as we know that the part which are produced from the additive manufacturing component is the powder bed fusion component. The part which is produced here is having very fine microstructure. Why? Because it is a very fast cooling process, high temperature gradient problem. Due to the very fast cooling process, high temperature gradient process, the microstructure is a very fine, and the part which are produced is a very hard component. So here, and also it is having the residual stresses induced in the fabricated component. So before going to application of any component, we want to reveal the residual stresses, and also we want to improve the strength, and we want to improve the ductility of a component based on the application. For that purpose, we are using the muffle furnace having at NIT Varangal. We are using for preheating or reheating. Now the component which I want to heat or preheat, or which I want to remove the residual stresses, that part I placed inside the chamber and I close that. Now here it's very easy to operate. See here, this is a screen which is a screen which is appeared onto the furnace. This is the push and rotate button. Very advantage of this machine is this furnace is that it's a very easy to operate each and everyone. It's not and easy to handle. It's around 20 or 30 kgs of a weight, and also the temperature is a very pressure control temperature. It is used to heat up to 3,300 degrees centigrade. See, such high pressure equipment we are using at NIT Varangal. Now in the screen itself, we can select the different temperature control modes, and we can select that varying the temperature by using the push and rotate knob button. We can select the what kind of a material we are loading. Here is the 4 different types of materials, like 17.4 pH, as well as cobalt chrome, as well as a titanium and aluminum. 4 materials. By these are the 4 standard materials given for this material. For those conditions we are using, and also we are having, see that we can also use this furnace for each and every material for post heat treatment. But we are using the 4 material. The 4 material program has been fed directly for this mission, and here we can increase the temperature in the step of 10 degrees per minute, and we can reach the maximum temperature around 3,300 degrees centigrade. So here the main furnace working principle is here is having 3 stages, that is heating, holding, and furnace cooling. So heating is that the heating means which is used the components which are produced from the additive manufactured part is having very fine grain. So we want to increase the grain. So whereas we are heating with the help of a furnace, the grains are increasing and they're combined together. They form a large grain, and until the heating will continue until the grains are become uniformly distributed with of new grains, large grains. Whenever it is reaches to the new grains and large grains, at that time we need to hold for getting the uniform distribution of a grain here. Therefore, we are using the holding time. The holding time for each and every material is different. It's not same for all material. It's a different. Let's say holding time for, if you go for the stainless steel, let's say 17.4 precipitation hardenable material we are using at NIT Warangal. For that material, holding time is 1 hour at 480 degrees centigrade. So heating will continue until the 480 degrees centigrade and will hold for 1 hour. After that, we'll go for furnace cooling. Next is a cobalt chrome. For cobalt chrome material, we are heating to reach up to a temperature of 1200 degrees centigrade and will hold for 3 hours. For aluminum silica 7mg material, we are heating up to getting a temperature of 270 degrees centigrade and holding for 2 hours. As for titanium material, we are heating up to a temperature of 670 degrees centigrade and holding time is 5 hours. See that holding time and as well as a heating temperature which are different for each and every material. As per research point of view, for example, aluminum material, we can preheat different conditions like T6, T3, T4, T5, T6 temperatures, and we can observe what happened when do the heat treatment and microstructural properties. The research kind of thing we can do with help of this muffle furnace. We are using that. Now the furnace is directly, it is a furnace cooling. The furnace cooling under the environment inside the furnace is gas environment we are using here. The gas environment is, let's say, it's nitrogen and argon we are using. The nitrogen is used for furnace cooling of cobalt chrome and precipitation hardenable material. For furnace cooling for aluminum and titanium we are using the environment is argon environment. And also for the research point of view, we can do after heating, we can quench the part in water environment or oil environment after the heating. After completion of holding, we can take the part directly immerse into the water or oil bath. For research point of view, most of them they are doing that. It is a furnace environment as well as we can do in the after holding, we can do the open environment. So such things which are available for our mission. This is a German-made mission we are having. See that this is the 1200 degrees cobalt chrome material. So like that, we can select each and everything for each and every material we are using at NIT Warangal mission. Now, after completion of a furnace cooling, we will take out the part. We'll take out the part and we'll go for, now this is the part we are removing after furnace cooling. We are going for cutting or removing of a material. Therefore, removing of a material, we are using the bandsaw at NIT Warangal. Generally, we will use the bandsaw for removing of a material from the build plate. For fine finishing operation, we will use wire cut EDM. It's a very suitable for cutting of a 3D printed parts. We are using now. See what we are doing. That we will there is a holder. This is a holder to fix the build plate to the holder. Once we fix that, we'll start. The blade is rotating and we'll remove the part from the material. Next post processing equipment we are having at NIT Warangal, that is a powder sheaver, the sheave shaker we can call it as. See the powder which you are using for additive manufactured is a very high cost. So therefore we want to reuse the powder. Don't directly reuse the powder after collecting the material from the overflow cans, because it is some, so we want to remove some accidents, some other particle agglomeration of a particle will take place. The particle may be having larger size. When two particles are agglomerated, the particle size might be increases. It might be some 100 or 110 or some dust will be there. Those we want to remove that. For that purpose, we are using the sheaver. See the sheave shaker. This is the upper one is called as a directly will pour the powder. Lower one is the collecting the material. Now see here, this is a material which we are collected and we poured onto the upper plate. This is a lower plate. We will collect the material. See now, see this is the environment we are using. The sheaver is a time for sheaving. This is the amplitude. let's say the maximum amplitude is around, we can, per hour amplitude per minute is having 180 amplitude per minute we are having, and the time for sheaving we can adjust by using that. Time we can increase like minutes, 30, 40, 50 like that. This is the amplitude per minute. We can increase the maximum up to 180 amplitude per minute we are having. And once we switch on to, once we set the amplitude as well as the time, number of amplitude and sheaving time, will start the mission. Once it's starting, it will be vibrating continuously, and the material will be flowing from the mesh, from the top one is having the mesh. Along with the mesh, there bottom one will be collecting. After completion of a vibration and amplitude of a mission, will stop the mission and will collect the powder. So the operation is continued till completion of that process, just till completion of the process. Now we'll see that now the process has been completed. We collected the powder into the bottom one. This powder will be used for reusing purpose. So for that reason, after collecting the powder, see that after collecting the powder, we want to keep the oven. Now we are having the oven at NIT Warangal. Why the purpose? So after collecting the powder from the sheaver, don't keep it in an open environment. Generally, we used to we collect the powder and we'll pour into the cans and we'll store at the oven to avoid the moisture attack. To avoid that, see here, this is the oven. This is the oven control. The maximum temperature we can set here. Once we switch on this oven, where the display, it can show the temperature, everything. The maximum temperature in that oven, preheating the powder at